Hi, everybody.
Hi.
How's it going, Cal?
It's going good. How about you, Rufus?
Good. Good. I got a treat to show you, Cal.
Oh God, I'm ready. I was told about this treat.
Yeah.
Do I have to unmute the stream to listen to this?
I'll just send you the link in Discord and you can just open it and
But I
we'll
want to
watch.
listen. But I
Yeah.
want to listen to. Or is it a watch together? You didn't watch together.
No, it's live on Twitch.
Oh
I'll
crap.
just send you the Twitch link
Sure.
and you can
I
watch
didn't know it
it.
was live on Twitch. I
Yeah,
thought it was like.
no, 24/7. I mean, like, this is live happening now. These episodes are being generated now.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
And
I thought
being
it was like
no,
we were
no,
watching episodes.
no, like, this is all happening live. So this is Infinite AI Seinfeld, which is a Twitch stream that has Chat GTP running in the background, generating Seinfeld script. And then it passes it over to some other AIs that animate it and voice act it with like Microsoft Sam style voices. It's pretty amazing. So
Sounds pretty great.
I'm gonna switch over to the scene. This is what it looks like, and I'm gonna send Cal the link now. Because I didn't want him to get there before stream could see. And I'm just gonna unmute the I'm just gonna unmute.
Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a robot, back and forth. Anything else, sir? Anything else, sir? Ugh, make it stop. And don't get me started on the seating. So cramped, but at least I have something to do for 3 hours, yoga. That's right, y'all, airplane seats are like a mini yoga class, and clearly I am an expert in flexibility. Thanks for coming out tonight. Have a great night.
No sense.
Here we go.
Hey Larry, did you hear that there's a new roller coaster in town? It's supposed to be really scary.
Yeah, I heard about it. But I'm not sure if I have the guts to ride it. What about you?
No way. I'm too scared. But I heard it's the best roller coaster around.
Well, I guess there's only one way to find out.
Is our
Let's go
freaking
check it
out?
out. I just hope I don't chicken out when we get there.
Well,
His arm went through his body.
we'll only watch one more scene.
Hi
Oh,
everybody, thanks for joining me tonight. I'm glad to be here. So, what's new? Any of you guys been caught in any hilarious situations lately? Anyone worry about getting caught for something you said or did? Let me tell you, I once said something at a family gathering that had everyone in the room laughing, but my mom just shook her head. It's funny because no matter how old I get, she still knows how to keep me in line. Alright, who's got something they want to share? Come on, don't be shy. We're here to have a good time.
I'm so
Let's
confused.
hear something funny.
Larry, that's not how stand-up works. It's not usually a participation sport.
It might be,
Okay,
as far as Larry's concerned.
that's enough of that for now, maybe.
You know what else is funny?
But
I just sure I'm just a confused dude. That's the thing.
that's kind of how I viewed Seinfeld as a child, really. I didn't really understand what was going on, and I didn't really find it that funny. And that's like that's like exactly what it sounded like when he was like doing yoga on an airplane seat. You bet I'm flexible. It's like, yeah, that sounds like That I could hear him say that,
Yeah, no, I could hear. Yeah,
and I still don't get it.
no, There's just no.
Yeah, that was AI Seinfeld,
Okay,
and that runs 24/7. And I'll post the.
Why?
I guess I'll post the link in chat if anyone wants to watch AI
24/7.
Infinite AI Seinfeld. Chat GTP. Seinfeld may have stopped writing Seinfeld, but the internet didn't. So that's a thing.
But the internet did it. That's great. I approve.
Okay. What are we going to talk about today, Cal? What's this episode actually about?
This episode's about Dungeons downloads.
Nice.
That is all. So we're doing Dungeons first. We're gonna do some recaps. Talk about OGL, the end of the new OGL. Essentially, it's never happened. Died before it started. Talk a little bit about music and talk a little bit about some expensive D&D Beyond stuff.
Yeah, I was slightly wrong about what I told you. It's no longer expensive, but we should still talk about it.
Sure, we can
Because
talk about it as much as we want.
It sounds
This
pretty
is our
cool.
podcast.
The original ad I saw was not the same as what they're actually selling. They're selling way more
Okay.
than what I originally thought.
Oh, okay, well, we'll talk about it then.
We will.
And then for downloads, we're talking about some stuff we were talking about last week, but we didn't have time because we think we just talked about dungeons.
Yeah.
Talk about Justin Rowland. He's a bad person. Turns out he's bad. Talk about a $2,000 Steam game. I don't know if you saw the link to that. Probably easily look it up. I didn't put that in this week's notes. Don't know why that exists. We're going to talk about Harry Potter being boycotted, the game, and our thoughts on that. And that's it.
So yeah, you guys sit tight. We got lots of interesting interactive content.
Interesting. No, they are actually interesting.
And it's not interactive though. You can't
It could be interactive.
It could be.
You can
You got-
interact with us.
You can say stuff, but like that's like the limit to your interaction right now. I'm working
It's a
on
lot of
getting that
interaction.
better though.
What do you mean?
I want to put something in the Discord at some point where people can submit topics to be covered. I think that
Oh,
could
the
be cool.
forums. That's right. We were talking about that.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Oh my god. That's right.
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway. So, first topic of the day. Recaps.
Recaps.
You had 2 campaigns, so you get to go first this week.
Should we do we want to well, you know what?
You get to go. You get to choose.
We'll start with Horde of the Dragon Queen because I don't think we want that
Because
at
it
the
was a
end.
disaster.
Yeah, I don't think I think we want to end on a high note going into OGL. I don't think we want to be depressing and then more depressing.
Yeah, no.
So we'll go bad, good, bad, good.
Sure.
So Horde of the Dragon Queen, we TPK'd the party. Which is a shame because I was really looking forward to watching those characters.
Yeah, I mean, like Mega and I already had some back and forth.
I was pretty invested in those characters for a first session.
we did good. I think we actually had a really good group. I think we
knew
had a good group of characters.
I knew all of your stuff.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to seeing those characters.
But now, are we keeping the same bonds, by the way?
I don't think you have those bonds anymore.
I can keep it if you want. Unless you want to change it up.
I'm thinking that you guys now your bond is just that you were sent to help Greenest.
Sure.
And hopefully
Okay.
yeah, I think that's just your bond now is that you guys were sent that or you guys will all end up having the same bond. So it'll be a group one of some kind.
Okay. I'm okay with this.
Like maybe
Anyway.
so basically they came into Greenest, which was being attacked by the cult of the dragon. So what I was
And
just
an actual dragon.
So what I was just about to say before we went into this was maybe you guys came from the village the cult of the dragon attacked earlier.
Sure.
And you heard that they had gone to Greenest and you came to take revenge. So you still have the scorn of being beaten by them.
Yeah.
And
I
that
like
would kind of be your bond is that you're trying to put an end to them.
Gotcha.
Because that's just as good as any of the other bonds. You really just need to be tied to Greenest or the cult of the dragon in some way.
Right.
So they
That
get to this city, they see a big dragon fly into the center of town, there's explosions everywhere, and then they see a family, father on crutches, three kids, and a mom running away from kobolds. And that's where the campaign starts. So I'm going to walk you through what I was supposed to do and what I did do. Before you even got to the gates, you were supposed to fight more kobolds.
Oh, okay.
Right out of the gate. And I was like, no. There's enough fighting already.
There's a lot of fighting. There was a lot of fighting. That entire first part was supposed to be fighting, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fighting. And you guys dodged a lot of encounters too, which was good.
We're only level 1, and we don't get a long rest. Like,
You have time for one long rest, technically.
okay.
But you don't know that.
No.
But there's like just enough time for one long rest in the middle, basically. But,
Okay.
So anyway, the kobolds end up killing the mom, and they save the kids and the dad.
We
And
did.
Unfortunately, this is where it kind of derails. In a typical campaign, the party won't know where to go.
But that's not how our campaign went because we had someone that was tied to Greenest.
Yeah, there was someone in the party from Greenest, and there was no way for me to pretend that he wouldn't know where the big landmarks in town were and what was likely to be under siege. So, like, I had to tell him the places he could go, and they chose to go the wrong way. And
Yeah.
I really do mean that. Because had they gone either other direction, they may have been okay. And I'm going to explain why, because chapter 1 is essentially over. So I can give away most of it now. So they chose to go to the mill, which is typically not possible. Because there's a river, and you're not supposed to be able to cross it.
We have a mud wizard.
But also, if you don't know Greenest very well, there'd be no reason for you to try to go that way when the road clearly goes straight to an intersection to the rest of town.
Right.
So it just happened that the wizard knew this would be a shortcut because he lives here. So that was like the first issue. So they go to the mill. The way the mill is written is that you just get ambushed inside the mill. And then there's
and
a
you
fight.
just get hit.
Yeah.
And then potentially
Well, you have
very
to roll a
hurt 'cause
20 perception to not get hit.
Right. I think, didn't I roll a 20 perception when I was up on the rafters because I had advantage because I was
That's
up
the
there?
only
That was
reason
it.
you saw
That was
him.
the only time I saw that guy is
Mhm.
because I was
You rolled a 22.
already stealthed on the rafters, rolled the 22 with advantage.
But like you're not even supposed to get the chance. It's like they open the door, they walk in. If they don't ask to make a perception check, they just get ambushed. If they do, they have to roll a 20.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be. And I was like, that just doesn't seem fair because to back it up again,
not.
what I was supposed to do There's supposed to be a guy that, and again,
Tells us where to go, right?
I-
Essentially, there's someone that comes down the road and tells us where to go because we're lost.
so there's that part that you guys didn't get. And yeah, he tells you to go to town square. And if you go there immediately, the dragon's not there.
Ah,
So you can do the Sallyport stuff and he comes back.
and then do the, yeah.
But because you
But-
triggered the other stuff, the dragon's there.
Comes back, yeah. Because
He
we went to
co-
the mills first.
So you guys go to the mill first. And the way that's supposed to work is, and it also doesn't work when you have someone who lives in Greenest, because they know everybody, all the normal people in town.
Yeah,
So this wouldn't have worked because you're supposed to have somebody look reputable and lie to the party that the mill is under siege and they're going to
Right.
burn it down.
right.
And then there's supposed to be like 8 cultists hiding inside.
There was no way we would have lived. That would have killed the party right there.
So like,
If 8 cultists
Yeah.
get a surprise round, we would have been dead.
yep. And then, well, also, but you're supposed to go deal with the keep first
the
in the
keep
center
first,
of
yeah.
town, and then that would have given you level 2.
Okay, at least we would have had level 2 at that point.
Because
Okay.
remember, this was all built on experience. So like you're supposed
Right.
and but like what I don't understand is like that's also really shitty for flow.
Yeah.
You kill 6 kobolds. Okay, now stop the game so we can level up. Like that's just
It's bad. It's bad. It's rough leveling up in the middle of a session,
it's bad form.
especially when it's that quick.
And like Wizards should have known that.
Yeah.
So like you should reach level 1 like by the time you go to do the Sallyport stuff.
Yeah, you're level 2, you said, right?
Yeah, after you do like the first thing in the Sallyport, you get level 2.
Right. And then
Um,
it stops everything, and then you have to hit level 2. Then you get to go face the dragon.
yeah, you're kind of doing the dragon in the Sallyport.
Oh, okay.
So there's still a break in flow.
Yeah.
Because you still have to level up your character right there. I guess maybe that's
Yeah.
why people start it too, but I feel like if you do this as intended at level 2, it's not very meaningful at all.
I think the dragon's still very meaningful. It's not easy to hit an adult dragon even at level 2.
No,
It'll happen,
But
but
if when you're missing him and not magic missiling him from the first turn, if he's already out and about killing villagers and he's just swooping down and leaving, because like
yeah.
Affinity's wrong. The dragon does not attack guards. What it does is if you don't provoke it first and it's hell bent on destroying the village, it'll go destroy the village and then it'll fly around and swoop by you every
Right.
turn until
As
its
opposed
breath is
to-
back up, and then it'll go murder more people and come back.
Gotcha.
Like that's how it's supposed to work if you're not
attacking it.
Yeah. Because, like, the idea is that he goes far away and he kills stuff and comes back. But when you start the combat on him, that's a bit different.
Yeah, we did. Well,
Um,
one of us did.
so, if we were to go. So, you guys did the mill encounter. The way I did it was instead of somebody lying to you, it was the person who was supposed to tell you where to go. And
Yeah, they come up and said the mill was on fire. And the mill was about to
that-
be put on fire.
yeah, it was the lie, but instead I made it the truth, and I made all the cultists outside with actual guards there.
Yeah.
And then you guys chased and then I was like, and then the cultists may try to run in and ambush them, because I think that's fair. You see them go
They did.
in, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to find them.
One of them did. One of them succeeded. The other one
Yeah.
did not.
So that was okay. And
It
then
ended up working out. That encounter ended up working out fine.
and also, like, so the mill was like 500 feet from the starting point, and like every 100 feet of movement, you have to roll an encounter, and they may have to do combat.
We got into one random combat, and
Mhm.
that's it, right? Because you weren't
Yep.
rolling that often.
Yeah,
I think.
I scaled that back a lot.
Yeah.
I tried to like roll once, maybe twice when you're going place to place instead of 5 times as you go place to place.
Yeah.
And then this is where the big deviation is. If you go straight from the beginning and you deal with the Sallyport stuff, it's a stealth mission. When you deal with the Sallyport stuff properly, you sneak in through a tunnel underground and you free prisoners, and then fight the dragon from the top of the Sallyport.
Should have made things easier.
So what they did is they came straight down the road, and then they fought the dragon first, and then it all of a sudden doesn't really make sense because the way it's supposed to go is that there's like a wizard inside the Sallyport, like telling the dragon to attack you while fighting, and there's an acolyte fight going on. But the way it's supposed to work is all those guards are actually prisoners that you're trying to free.
Okay.
But because it was no longer a stealth mission anymore, I figured maybe the guards could take on everything in here, because it also says to make perfectly clear that like the acolyte fight going on, everything's under control. They don't need your help.
Yeah.
So it was like, how are we going to do this now? We've got the acolyte thing going on. We've got the dragon thing going on. It's not a stealth mission, so like they can't really stealth in to free the prisoners and then anger the dragon. They've already angered the dragon.
Very much so.
And I really don't want them to feel like they have to come in here. So instead of these 12 or 13 guards being prisoners, I'm going to put them on the offense to make it really look like they don't need to be here. Was my plan.
Yeah.
And then when one of the adventurers ran in, one of the guards even said, "We've got this covered, handle the rest of it." And I thought that was enough.
It was not.
It was not enough. I should have said, "We need you to attack the dragon, please, sirs."
It was just it happens a lot when you DM. You think something in your head, and because you know what's supposed to happen, you know that, and with that information, you say a line that you're like, "Oh, it's obvious."
Yeah.
And then it's not obvious.
Like, have you ever written like something that you want to submit somewhere, so you send it to someone else for review, and then it comes back and it turns out you write like a toddler, but when you read it, you fill in all the words that you didn't type?
I've never done that, but that sounds like something I would do. I don't usually write things for like review. If I did, that would happen to me probably a lot.
It happens to me. I'll type really fast because I can think faster than I can type, and I'll just omit words while I'm typing. And then when I read it back, my brain puts the word in there, so I read it correctly. And then someone will be like, "What the did you just say?"
Just put in the words. It's fun.
So yeah, I thought that was enough for them to realize that they had to attack the dragon, because the way the dragon works is when you do 20 hit points of damage, it flies away forever.
Because it's bored.
But instead what the party actually did was they had their sorcerer attacking the dragon, and everybody else was trying to deal with the Sallyport. But like they started the combat on the dragon, and the dragon doesn't...
I didn't do anything. I looked at the dragon and it said later. And then Mud was like, "Let's attack it."
Because Mud's bond was that like he owes everything to the town of... Or no, whoever crosses greenest is my sworn enemy. Or something like that. So
mine was a swearing revenge on dragons, but like I also wasn't... I was wise enough not to just... I was thinking that my character wasn't wise enough. Was wise enough to not just attack a dragon.
Yeah. So the dragon took them out one by one, and it rolled a crit on Cheshire.
That's fine. Like by the time Mud was died and Mega was down, I knew that it was going to be a TPK.
Yeah.
Because it was like, well, we should have attacked the dragon. We're also all frightened now. There's no way I'm hitting this thing with a bow because I have disadvantage on the attacks against it. We're dead.
Yep. Technically, Kanik and Urist didn't die. Technically. Urist retired from adventuring forever, and
Makes
if
sense.
Kanik isn't going to be played, I'm going to thematically kill him. Is an introduction to the party who's potentially.
Are you going to have us do any encounters before then, or are we just doing straight into the right to the keep? Do you know?
You're
I'm
just gonna
I'm curious as
go
far as-
right to the keep at level 2.
Okay.
That's how the next session's going to start. Because basically, there was really only one thing I wanted you guys to get out of episode 1 that's left, and that's the meeting of the main villain.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to rewrite that part a little bit because it only
Sure.
really makes sense as written if you guys all make it there.
Which only one of us does.
Yeah, so doing it, and that's if he continues to play that character.
He still would make it there even if he doesn't continue to play the character. Just
Oh, yeah.
he'll play another character. Like Koenig still makes it there. He just either dies or gets
Well, no,
knocked
he could
unconscious.
he could run away though. What I mean by make it there is like be in that spot for that encounter.
Right.
He could leave as
Gotcha.
soon as he wakes up from unconsciousness, right? And be like,
Yeah.
yeah, screw this. And then he still lived, but he wouldn't be there. Same like Urist is also alive, but not there.
He ran. Oh, he's retired. He's done.
He retired. But yeah, that's what happened in Horde of the Dragon Queen.
We died.
Yeah, they died. But old wizard campaigns weren't balanced well.
They're pretty bad. Well, they're not bad, but they needed some work. That's a better
Even if there
phrase.
was no dragons there, it was a high potential for TPK based on the high amount of combat they wanted a level 1 party to do.
Level 1 parties don't have a lot. They usually can just throw out a couple of spells and also just hit things. There's not a lot of like you can't really play around it that much. You can't say, "Well, I'm going to do this fancy thing." It's like, "No, you're level 1. You have a sword, you hit it."
But like Lost Mines of Phandelver, that Goblin Cave is killer.
Oh yeah. Goblin Cave is killer. Dude.
Why don't you tell us about Out of the Abyss now? Let's switch to something else. This one's not depressing though. This was one of my favorite sessions of Out of the
I
Abyss
enjoyed
to
the
play.
session. We had some really good exposition between the party. Like a lot more. This group of players is very good at RPing with each other.
Should I play the clip?
Every single one of them. Sure.
Okay,
You can start with that, and then I'm gonna go back a little bit in time and talk about like what happened before to get to that area. There's multiple. You had like 3 clips from that night.
This is true. This one's my favorite clip though.
I almost clipped the one where Stool kicks your god.
Okay, Dungeons and Downloads. Why
But yeah, they had
access
a lot of fun.
denied?
Access denied.
Because I'm logged in on the wrong Twitch channel. That's why.
Correct.
Okay. Here we go. Come on, let me see the clips. Show me the clips. It's hard to,
Show
you know what?
me
It's
the
actually
clips.
kind of hard to find the clips while you're live. Okay.
You know, you could have just gone to the Out of the Abyss,
Yep, that's where I'm
Discord.
going now.
and it would be right. There's 2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there's a really good one with the hyena. Then there's also the really good one with
Oh yeah, I'm gonna play. I'll play them both.
Algernon.
I'll play them both. We'll start with the other one. We'll start with the hyena.
The hyena was great. That was just fantastic. That was a dice roll that made that fantastic.
Oh yeah, and I mean a little bit of the Snog voice.
Yeah, but
Also-
without yeah.
I feel like also, we were starting to get a little bit either tired or whatnot at that point
Yeah.
as well. So it was even funnier.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I just wanna no. Okay, OBS won't let me do that right now. That's what we'll do. So here is the clip. Oh, they can't hear it. One sec.
No.
So it's also worth noting that on webcam, which the guys can see, I'm like going like this, like getting ready to smack something
you're
with
gonna
my
swing
great
your
club. I'm
quarterstaff,
showing
yeah.
them how I was swinging the great club that time.
Oh, okay.
And so I was doing that motion to show that like I was coming down on top of his
Yeah.
head and saying this. Oh, they still can't hear it. Dang it. I'm going to try one more time because I messed up again. Here we go. They should be able to hear it this time.
For like the smack, like the killing, stereotypical killing blow. I'm telling him that I'm gonna do this to him. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna just do this, okay? You stay right there. Don't move.
I'm gonna be sad if it misses.
Just to the side and just lets out a string of laughter.
Wow.
It was great.
This one is my favorite clip I think I've gotten so far of Snog. I think this is just the perfect representation of our party.
I agree.
Like just how we typically act. And if you like this clip, you'll probably like watching us play Out of the Abyss.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Oh, I should mention too, for anyone who's not seen, Snog is a cleric of Tempest, and he has an indefinite madness that makes it so he's got like an imaginary friend that he talks to in secret, and
He trusts above everyone else.
I trust above everyone else. So I decided that a rock that hit me on the head when I fell into the Underdark, I thought it was talking to me, and it told me that its name was Algernon, and that he was an angel of Tempest. So I listened to his every word.
It's true.
And you should also know that I forced the party to buy a sling for me by
Best con in the world.
by convincing them that it was for me, but none of them knew that I had -1 dex. I let it slip in one of the episodes. I didn't mean to tell them either. I was going to keep that a secret for a long time. And
now everyone knows.
I did a roll and Algernon wanted a sling, so I forced the party to buy him a sling. He's a rock.
You didn't even have to force that hard. People just were like, oh, Snog wants a ranged weapon. I guess a sling's at least something, right?
Well, like, it took some convincing because I had 0 gold and they bought it for me.
Yeah. It was cheap though.
It was cheap, but like we needed the money real bad.
Oh yeah, you were really pressed for money back then.
That's the context behind this clip.
Actually, how
Roll
I
deck.
found him. He fell
Roll
on my
deck.
head.
Throw him at me. Roll deck. I dare you.
I don't know how to do this. Oh yeah, I'll just use my sling.
equip
That'll be the same.
Equip the sling and throw it.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
I'm gonna sling Algernon at you. This will be great. I can't see this going poor for me in the slightest.
Go find Algernon.
Algernon!
Do an investigation check for me, Snug. How does that play
Algernon.
out if you
Start
can't
walking
find
up the
Algernon?
Come back! Hold on, I'm looking for investigation.
Damn it.
You're good.
You probably found him.
You're able to.
Actually, how
Roll
I
deck.
found him.
What happens if you can't find Algernon?
Oh,
You
he
just
will-
make another rock Algernon at that point, as far as you're concerned.
No. I think he'd have to look until he finds him. He would no.
Lost forever in the Underdark.
I don't think he'd be able to not. Like I think he'd have to stay there.
I've been sad. So yeah, we played Out of the Abyss. They picked up where they stopped last time. They were going closer to the fungal tower of Yigmorgus.
Morgus.
They started by thinking that they were going to get farther in than they did, so they popped some healing potions and some resources. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna get ready," and then literally as they walked a couple feet in, everyone saw a terrible sight. Had to roll a wisdom save, and 3 of them failed their madness wisdom saves. Sildar got an indefinite madness. Rusty had a little bit of madness. And Snog got the same madness that actually killed Galtorin.
Yep.
Snog did not die. As you could see in those clips, that was after that.
Yep.
He just thought that everyone was getting consumed by the fungal forest.
Yeah, that was I didn't quite know how I was gonna handle that, but
You did. I think you handled it right.
yeah, I was considering like guiding bolting one of them to see if it would burn off.
You could have sacred fire, flame. You could have done any of that.
Yeah, sacred flame, sorry, not guiding bolt, sacred flame.
Yeah.
But yeah, that killed
Ah.
Galtorin. That's why he kept going back to check on his friends because he thought that
Because
they
he
were
thought
being
that they were getting consumed by.
So he thought he had to help pull
Madness.
them out. So
Yeah. So yeah, the same thing happened to Snog. He lived. They essentially backed off, and then through some advice from Basidia, the elder Myconid, they decided to leave Neverlight Grove forever, and their mission was pretty much to go out and tell the world what happened there and about the Demogorgon and about the crazy things happening in the Abyss. Which once again, I did try to hit the point home, and I'm pretty sure everyone got it that, you know, if this goes unchecked, it's possible the surface world could be affected as well. So yeah, then they went about their business. They came across a hyena den or a hyena hunt. It was a hooked horror den. They were being hunted by hyenas. There's a lot of hyenas. They dealt with it just fine because it's not meant to be a difficult encounter. But they learned of another demon lord that was also apparently in the Underdark, Gigano. It's a fun demon lord. And then yeah, they made their way to essentially their way out of the Underdark. As far as they know, Blingden Stone. They went to the gates. They were greeted with a lot of suspicion because that's just how the deep gnomes are. They did end up getting through the gates after telling them about being captured by Drow and also about the demon lords. Went right to the leader. After going through like a maze, they went through like a maze trap thing that's set up at the start of it. They went through then another corridor, a bunch of like a lot of defenses essentially to get to where they were, but they were led past it because of the guard they were with. They went and they talked to the leader. They recalled all of their entire story, and then the leader essentially said, you know, I can't spare anyone right now to help scout ways, or like not scout, but guide you out of the Underdark. But after you do some things for me, I'll gladly do that. And yeah, they ended off there, going back to the inn and going to sleep for the night. It was cool because that's one of the bigger moments, because we're nearing the end of the first half of the campaign where you guys were actually just able to tell exactly everything you'd done. That's a moment that I believe changes. That's definitely a moment that would change from campaign to campaign.
yeah.
The entire state of the Underdark changes from campaign to campaign depending on what happens.
That's kind of crazy that it's that in depth.
It's very in depth. You also ended up going with only one of your starting companions. You could, in theory, the only companion that I killed off not in combat was the orc at the beginning, because I think there was one too many, and he was the least interested I was in of all of the characters.
Yep.
Every other character, every other NPC that you started with has either died, except for Stool, has either died or by some means left the party. Now, the ones that died in Valkenvelv could have had a whole series of things happen to them. There's some things that happen in Neverlight Grove with other characters, some things that happen in Gracklestug with other
No
characters.
way, really? I guess
Every one of
Boopido
those.
makes sense, like with the no Boopido.
Boopido has the big. Boopido is the big Gracklestug character. Neverlight Grove is actually just another character that died near the start.
Oh, really? That guy?
Sloopladop. You had the Kuatoa that could have gone
Yep.
to Sloopladop. I don't think it would have changed too much, but it maybe would have given me a little more insight as to what was happening.
Yeah, well, yeah, he would have been able to explain the religious crisis better probably before we
Yeah.
got there.
Yeah. So every one of those NPCs have things that can happen that change how a lot of, or at least change the information you guys have at the very least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yes, having Jim Jar, Topsy, or Turvy would have helped entering Blingden Stone because those are all deep gnomes. But they're all currently in Gracklestug, apparently. Alive or dead, who knows? But yeah, that's out of the Abyss. They ended off in Blingden Stone.
So like did Jim Jar ever tell us if he was from Blingden Stone?
I don't know if he said he was directly from Blingden Stone, but I mean, he's a deep gnome.
Yeah.
And he suggested he said that Blingden Stone seemed like a fine idea.
Hmm.
At least he knows the place. I don't know what 700 Rapid is.
Chess.
Oh,
That's
nice.
Elo
Congrats.
for a 10-minute game.
That's Elo.
GG.
GG, that's cool. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in Blingden Stone. Blingden Stone
Yeah.
is larger than Whirlstone Tunnels. It's a massive area. It's going to take about as
man.
much time or more than Gracklestug, depending on what you guys do.
Well, yeah, like I said, I think my guy's willing to stay here for a very long time.
Oh,
I
yeah, I'm
talk
not
to
even just
rocks,
saying-
they talk to rocks, you know.
I'm not even just saying a long in-game time. I'm saying like long out-of-game time too. Like you're going to be there for a couple months.
Oof.
My guess.
A couple months, nice.
There's a lot of extra. We're also taking a break soon.
Oh,
Because Keegan's
oh yeah, he's going somewhere.
he's going somewhere for the second half of February.
Are we gonna do something while he's gone?
I might say it's almost run like a one shot.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We'd do that because I don't want to do any more Out of the Abyss. I feel like that group's very good at.
Oh
always
yeah,
being-
no. I don't want to move forward and out of the abyss. I mean something else.
Yeah.
That's what I meant. I meant something else, like
Yeah.
a one shot or a 2 or 3 shot. How long's he gone for?
I think it's 3 weeks.
Like a 3
Something I
shot.
really like about that group is we're always there. So
Yep.
like even if we end up missing a week for some reason, we'll almost always make the next week. So I don't feel like I'm just like waiting around.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
good group of people.
It doesn't feel as bad when it's every week instead of every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
feel bad for every week. Every 2 weeks can be a bit rough as far as missing.
Yeah,
Like if we missed what, a week of water? Did we miss a week of Waterdeep? No, we kept playing even without Don Bros,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So even if we had missed one, it still wouldn't have been that bad
Mhm.
because it's a weekly.
exactly.
It's the 2 weeks that are the kicker.
Yeah, because when you miss 2, you're automatically out a month, right? So
Yeah,
kind of sucks.
it
But-
does. But
That-
here we are. Speaking of Waterdeep,
Yeah, on Waterdeep, you
last
guys,
time on Waterdeep.
you guys tracked the wooden figure that shot the fireball. You went back to a morgue and talked to a dude who was a Zent. And I think some of you are finally starting to understand what that means. You always understood.
Oh yeah, and I brought that up as much as I.
Yeah.
Goofy always understood because Goofy was told that Zents are bad by his first people. I think it was the Silver Gauntlet or something like that. The First Order.
Mm-hmm.
And Goofy also used that information to bring the two gangs together.
Yeah, exactly. Um,
And I kept saying it, and everyone was like, "Oh, Goofy, you just say crazy things sometimes." And I'm like, "But the Zent are bad. The Zentarm's bad. Oh, Goofy, you're just crazy."
You're crazy. Manchun is fine.
He's not. You guys actually, Out of the Abyss actually has a little bit of Zent in there for a little bit.
Nice.
It is in Faerun.
But yeah, so you
And
guys
They
talk
even have ties in the Underdark.
to a Zent sellsword.
He was dead. He was reanimated for a bit. We
Yeah.
talked to the dead.
They talked to the dead. And then after that they did find it ended up being a nimble. Oh, what were they called? Actually, I have Fantasy Grounds. Nimble right.
Right.
Nimble right.
You can say Nimble Bot,
Nim the
but
Nimble
that's
right,
right.
who was gifted to the temple. Cannot leave the temple, made a nimble right of his own, and it got spooked and ran away. And they don't know why. Well, they do now because they saw it in a Zent uniform. But they fought and killed it. They were asked to take it out. But they spent a lot of the session searching for the nimble right. Which, while they clearly anticipate some parties will go this way, it is not the desired way.
What?
That's not that's not actually what they intend you to do.
What do they intend? Like, wait a minute.
They
so you're
don't
saying you're not
intend you
supposed
to
to
care-
go chase the
so-
nimble, right?
You kind of are, but they don't expect you to care that much.
Oh, they expect us to go to the other place Goofy wanted to go to, don't they?
Well, no, they expect you to go to the boats, but they don't really expect you to care about the nimble right after you get on the boat.
Oh, so you're not supposed to care because there's so many of them, I guess? You're supposed to be like, oh, well, whatever.
Well, like, you're supposed to go to the parade first and then see hundreds of nimble rights. And then when your thing starts going crazy near the docks of the ships that of the company that you know did the parade, it's not supposed to be surprising. And then
Are
he
we-
invites you onto his ship.
Did we miss the parade?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how it goes. This is how it changed because we missed the parade.
Yeah.
Because we missed the parade because we were in a different part of town.
Yeah. You were searching
Got
a
it.
different part of town. Basically is what happened. And
So we missed the parade, but then we still got the information and we just went a different way. And that ended up making us want to care about the nimble rights more.
yeah. And so the way it's supposed to happen is you're supposed to see that parade and then you're supposed to eventually get over, then you end up with the nimble right detector and then you go to the docks and then you're like, "Oh, well this is the company that does the parade. He's got millions of those things."
Right.
And but you're not supposed to you're not really supposed to go searching for it. You're just supposed to talk to him and intrigue with him a bit.
Gotcha.
See, you guys are really taking it the investigation route, but there's really not a lot usually to find. It's usually a lot to question.
You told us to not worry too much about combat. And in our minds, I think it's like, well, that means we should be investigating as well as questioning a lot.
Yeah. There's usually not a lot to investigate other than just what you're about to get into. So like, and I don't feel comfortable saying to never do it because obviously that's not true
No, I mean,
either.
we're going to keep going. I think we're going to keep going the same way we've been going.
Oh yeah, and that's fine. But the book like clearly accounts for it, but then also says, yeah, but it's clearly written in a way that favors doing it this way. If
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like it's not like Court of the Dragon Queen where it just completely goes off rails if you go in the wrong direction, but also
Yeah, I mean, we were fine. Like you said, the book accounted for it. Like I think
Yeah.
we didn't miss anything. I think we ended up getting the information we were looking for. And
the only thing I did differently was like I'm supposed to roll for more encounters and you're supposed to do it all in one day and the nimble right fight is supposed to be harder, but you're also not necessarily going to find the nimble right at the level you're at.
right.
So that's why I
You
made
could find it at a higher level. Is that what you're saying?
yeah. So like if you were a higher level the fight would have been easier cuz like you're concerned about it, but
We almost lost a fight. I mean, we almost had a fighter go down. We didn't almost lose her, but we almost had her go down.
yeah.
He did a lot of damage in the first round.
It's a really tough fight for you guys right now. So that's why what I did was I picked a multiplier and I made each ward that much longer to take so that if you were to
Okay.
fight something in a ward where the nimble right wasn't, you wouldn't have to then go fight the nimble right. You could do the long rest in between.
Gotcha. You could do a lot. Gotcha.
And
gotcha.
I also wanted to force you guys to advance time quicker because the game really is not supposed to go day by day by day.
Right. Right.
So I'm trying to like find
We
ways.
really want to do that, though.
I know. And that's why I'm accommodating it by doing stuff like that.
I appreciate it.
Because if I let you
I
guys
appreciate it.
search the entire, like, if I don't, you guys will never make money on the tavern because you'll finish the campaign before the taverns ever makes money.
we're probably going to end up doing that.
Oh
It
yeah,
is fun to drag out games. I agree. I'm part of the party that's dragging out games right now.
and that's fine. I just want you guys
No
to get
cap.
to run the tavern too, if you want to. If you don't, that's cool too.
I think we're doing fine running the tavern. I mean, I feel like, haven't we had a discussion of the tavern? Maybe not last session,
Yeah,
but we've been having discussions about the tavern pretty frequently and trying to adjust it as
But
time goes on. And
imagine how much further behind you'd be if you could search Waterdeep in one day and
we'd
find the
be
nimble
very
right.
far behind. I think you're correct.
Yeah.
I feel like we're more afraid of missing stuff if we skip time.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's the case or if it's only things happen on like event days, and we can skip 2 event days and be okay. All I know is I think, at least in my mentality, every time I say skip a week, I'm like, well, we might have just missed a major event.
No, it doesn't go down to the date level. It's months and holidays that matter. So it's
Okay, well,
it's,
I feel a little bit better about skipping time now.
it's more
But I
about
was
what time of year is it? What month is it? And is there a
Gotcha.
holiday or a celebration going on?
that makes more sense because I was like, well, if we skip the 20th day of midsummer, which doesn't exist, but if we skip that,
Yeah.
then are we gonna miss a big villain coming in and having
No, it's
this
not.
happen?
It's
and
not
intrigue?
that specific.
You scared me when you told me that we could miss stuff easily. That's what happened.
It's true. You guys have already missed something technically.
Yeah, but I don't think that's affected. I don't think it's affected
There
us
was,
at all, as far
um,
as negatively.
there was some crazy shit that could happen. I didn't think you guys would likely get there because of the season that I started in. Because I get to pick what season I start in to pick a starting villain, which you guys don't have to follow through on. You guys can change the villain at any
Did you
point.
have a starting villain? You've had a starting villain picked the entire
picked,
time,
well,
right?
I picked a starting villain.
You don't have to tell me if it's right, but I feel like it's Manchun. It could
Actually,
also
no.
be Xanathar. Okay. It's
Also,
between,
no. There's
well, then
4
it's something that
villains.
we haven't actually
Yeah,
fixed.
you
Or
guys.
okay.
If you guys would have went a different way, you would have met them from the beginning, and then you would have got the special lore thing, and then this villain would make sense.
Okay.
But like the way the game is built to work is I pick a default villain, and then you
And then
guys
we can go
ultimately
another direction.
choose whatever villain you want once you meet them.
I would like to choose the Zentarum, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to be vetoed by everyone who says that there are buds.
They're not
So,
your buds.
Probably
I can-
going to end up being Xanathar is my guess. That will end up going down the Xanathar line because of other Floon and his run in with the Xanathar.
But that was more or less a quick summary of what happened there. You guys did a couple more things, but like big story
have
plot
one-
wise, that was most of it.
We're going to that place that
Over
I
near.
originally suggested and then was told that it would be scary and we probably shouldn't go there right away. As far as I know, we're doing a dungeon next. So that we can hit level 4. So that
Yeah.
way when we bring in our permanent other player, we'll all be level 4.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Because I don't know if you guys can. I don't know if you guys are going to finish the dungeon in one shot.
Okay.
You could finish it in 5 minutes because you guys
Knowing
tend to
us,
do
we
that.
Probably will. We might not.
Yeah. I don't know how to handle you guys. You're like impossible to prep for because it's like, do I bother drawing walls on this map or are we only going to see the first room?
You always draw walls, but you might just have a lot of that work go to nothing. It's true.
But like
We're a hard group.
the other thing too is like, do I even draw walls or do I just draw like a really big circle and drag it around with them?
That's a great way to do it.
Or something stupid like that. But that was basically all that happened in Waterdeep right now. They don't quite know the plot yet.
Nope.
Which is fine, honestly. I'm okay with playing it slow. You guys are getting a lot of information, so you're gonna know. Like, there's kind of 2 ways to do it. You could go in fast and loose and only find out about one villain, and then only have one to pick
We already
from.
know
Really,
about 2.
yeah.
Maybe you're gonna learn about a 3rd at some point, but I know
You
that I think-
have technically. I won't tell you when, but you have technically met the 3rd villain already.
Okay.
And you do not. I will say the party is not aware of who they are.
He's not my best friend, right?
Who's your best friend?
You know my best friend. It's a rival tavern owner.
Oh no.
It's my best friend.
No.
Volo. That'd be kind of funny if Volo was the villain.
You guys don't even know you met them. That's
That's
how
fine.
that's how I know you don't know who it is. You don't know that you've met them.
But we met them.
They met
But we-
you, I guess, to be more specific.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There was some
That's-
disguisey stuff going on. So like
That's fine.
you've interacted with this person but don't know who it is.
Sure.
So you've met 3 of the 4 technically. You just
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
I mean, like, I don't think it counts in our minds until we actually know who the
I agree.
third is. It's
I-
like we've met two. As far as I'm concerned, we've met two.
Definitely. But it's the third one can still happen. There's just not the thing that happens on the holiday. You can still end up with them as a villain.
Was the third one the one that you chose? Is my guess because that was the one we missed.
No.
It was the fourth one.
Actually,
Was the
yeah,
one that you
the
chose.
one
The
that
one that
you-
we've literally
Yeah.
never met.
But like you don't
Right.
have to this special holiday doesn't change anything for the villain stuff. It's just extra lore that you could know about them.
Oh, okay.
So like I picked it because I was like, if you start in the summer, you're doing this villain, but then there's also something that happens on the holiday in midsummer. So it's like it's a perfect one to pick if you want to do all that. So I was like, if they get there, great. If they don't, they don't, because it doesn't really relate
doesn't
to
change
the
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really cool if you get there. It's like it's like the after credit scenes of like a movie when it's not a tie into the sequel, like the silly ones. You know what I mean? The blooper reel. It's like a blooper reel.
I like it. I approve of blooper reels.
Yeah, I think that's all we got for recaps.
Okie dokie.
Really dungeon heavy
Rufus.
again.
What happened with the OGL?
Oh yeah, so whenever they did OGL, it looks like they may have Creative Commons some previously copyrighted characters, maybe by accident, maybe by not. They haven't really said much about it yet. But Wizards of the Coast released their entire SRD 5.1 under a Creative Commons license, including names that were previously off limits like Strahd von Zarovich. So Strahd is technically open source now.
That's kind of crazy to me.
I think Beholders as well, I think.
Okay.
Maybe this was the way that they're trying to say sorry.
By making so many adventures open source.
Well, not the adventure, the character.
Oh,
The character
Strahd is open
Strahd-
source.
Yeah.
I thought it was the whole adventure was open source. Blah, 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 blah. The whole adventure was open source.
No. Just Strahd von Zarovich. Because, here's why. It's because in Divine Sense, it mentions Strahd von Zarovich in the text of Divine Sense. And technically everything in the SRD, it's the use of the word Strahd von
Defines-
Zarovich is now open source.
It's not as crazy as I thought. The use of the word Strahd. I mean, Strahd was just not open source. You just couldn't say Strahd. Am I getting
not in
currently getting
If you
copywritten?
you can't make money off the word Strahd.
That's crazy. And Beholders?
Yeah, Beholders are a copyrighted Wizards property.
I don't even.
Yep. But
don't
yeah,
even
so it looks like they may have accidentally Creative Commons some words that they may not have wanted to. Now I thought this meant that they had
Oh, Zardoz Zord, Sean Connery.
Zardoz Zord.
I didn't realize they were specifically Wizards of the Coast. That's weird.
What, Beholders?
Yeah, I didn't realize
Yeah.
that like Pathfinders not really use Beholders?
No, they can't use Beholders. They have to have eye stock creatures. They can't have Beholders. They can be like basically Beholders, but
But they have to call them something else.
They
Or
can't
they couldn't. Now they can. Now they can.
yeah, now they can call them Beholders.
It got Creative Commons.
But before they had to call them eye stock villains or something. I don't know. Whatever they wanted to call them, but they couldn't
It's like
be.
the stupidest thing to trademark.
Kobolds might be trademarked as well.
Oh, right. Just don't include them at all, which is fine. You don't need to include Beholders.
What monster
Kobolds were.
names does D&D own? I know there's
No,
more
Kobolds
than
they can't because WoW uses Kobolds.
these
and Gnolls.
monsters are legally owned by Dungeons and Dragons. So this
'Cause I don't
is the
think Blizzard
list.
pays because I don't think Blizzard pays
Beholder and Goth,
Wizards.
Carry and Crawler, Displacer Beast, Githyanki, Mind Flayer, Umber Hulk, Slod, Yuan T. Those are the ones that Wizard owns copyright
Upper
over.
Hulks are fun.
Yep. Yes, they are.
When you're faced with introducing someone to an Umber Hulk, do you make it clear that they can avert their eyes?
No.
Or do you try and let them actually discover that themselves?
No, they have to discover that themselves unless their character knows it. Why
Okay,
would
so they would do a check to try and potentially know. Well, because there's no way, like, it really depends. Yeah, you'd have to make it a knowledge check. Because, I mean, then they're just going to face the Umber Hulk without ever knowing, chances are.
Well, like, what I
unless
would
they do a
probably
check.
do leading up
You
to
just
an Umber
make it
Hulk fight is I would make it clear that where they look matters before they start combat.
That works.
I would put in a puzzle or something where looking at things was really important. And then I would put them in a room similar to that so that they would have reason to look away, is probably
Gotcha.
how I would do that. But I wouldn't tell them. No way.
Would you, if they just didn't get it, would
I
you
would
then
kill them,
Put it
yeah.
in. Would you? Well, I mean, they don't specifically die from Umber Hulks by not looking if they just succeed on the save.
No, I'd
but-
just keep hitting them.
Sure, and it would be interesting. Would you then put an NPC that tells them about it afterwards, and then never put another Umber Hulk in the campaign to be like,
Maybe, actually, yeah. Like, honestly, if I put an Umber Hulk in and they got, like, completely destroyed by it, I'd probably just not use it for the rest of that campaign.
well, yeah, you specifically put an NPC in there that tells them about the Umber Hulk, and then just never use it for the rest of the campaign. It's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, make sure that you don't look into their eyes. Well, I wish you had told us that before.
Or, like, maybe what I would have done, actually, what I might have done is I might have had, like, somewhere in blood, maybe earlier in the dungeon, the eyes.
Sure, yeah, do that.
Or
I
some,
also feel like whenever you're using the Umber Hulk ability, you make it clear that the Umber Hulk is looking into you, like that is looking into your eyes, or that I forget. Is it that when it looks into your eyes, or that when you look at it?
let's see. Unless surprised, a creature can avert its eyes to avoid the saving throw at the start of its turn. A creature starts its turn within 30 feet of the Umber Hulk and is able to see the Umber Hulk's eyes. You have to see his eyes.
Okay.
So, like, I think the idea is they're spinning and it's hypnotizing you, kind of thing.
Right. So, like, you could make it clear that, I guess you'd make it clear when you do the save that you get hypnotized by the, like, you start looking into the Umber
Looking
Hulk's
into the
eyes.
Umber. Yeah. When they fail
Yeah.
to save the first time, I'd be like, you look into the Umber Hulk's eyes and you notice this and make a saving throw. But I wouldn't tell them what's happening.
Yeah, you wouldn't tell. You'd just like
No.
allude at it, or
Yeah.
They're fun though.
And also, to Astolia's point, you can turn facing on the tokens in Fantasy Grounds. So if I was ever planning on using an Umber Hulk, I would probably introduce the concept of facing with your token
Yeah,
before
that makes sense.
before the combat, so that you could
Yeah.
easily turn your token to face a different direction to denote that you're not looking at him anymore.
Right, rather than having to say it, you can just denote it.
Yep.
And that's one of the ones where it's like you can do that until the start of your next turn. You just have disadvantage on attacks, right?
I just closed it, but basically, you get bad stuff.
I think it's just disadvantage on your attacks, which isn't great, but wait a minute, it doesn't actually say that. A surprised creature can avert its eyes to avoid the saving throw at the start of its turn. That's weird. It doesn't say that, but I feel like I would always impose disadvantage if it's not looking at the Umber Hulk.
What was that? Sorry.
Well, I feel like it doesn't say that on the Umber Hulk stat sheet that it gives you disadvantage, but I feel like I would always impose disadvantage because you're not looking at the target that you're swinging at.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're behind it.
Unless you're behind it.
Because he would have
It's
facing
true. It
enabled
has to
as
look
well.
into your eyes.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the enemies would have facing enabled as well if you were going to go with that.
Yeah, you'd have to, because if you're behind it, you wouldn't be able to see.
Yeah. But basically, the deal with OGL now is Wizards put out a thing where they released the stats where everybody said no except for like the employees that were like in upper management and asked their family to go vote yes. That's how overwhelming the results were. It was only the families
Yeah.
of Wizards companies that probably voted yes. And they said, we hear you. We know you hate the stuff that we're proposing. We're not going to do it. And you guys will all resubscribe to D&D Beyond, right? Because we did that. Um,
No.
no, nobody did. And yeah, they they
You
decided
already
that
fucked up.
they
Sirs
left
and ma'ams.
they left D&D 5 alone, and they left OGL alone. And then they said, "Oh, wait, now we have SRD 5.1 and that's going to be under Creative Commons and we're not going to touch licensing. We suck at this. Please forgive us forever." It's eerily similar to the Kermit the Frog impression.
They're the same person.
They're the same person, just a little bit higher pitched and a little bit sadder because I had cancer. Oh man, that kind of sucks. Kermit's never had cancer.
I'm actually sad.
No, don't be sad. He's a human garbage.
Sure, but, like he's cancer.
Yeah, that
It's
clip,
cancer.
clip
Rufus
command
is
doesn't work
cancer.
anymore.
Cancer's bad.
Not gonna lie, if that was a good impression, I didn't know I could do one because it doesn't sound like that in my head.
You do a good Jordan Peterson / Kermit the Frog impression.
I know I do a good Kermit, so when I knew when
you just switched it around very slightly, and it actually ended up being
Yeah.
relatively spot on. Like it was definitely. It was definitely like a characterized version of him,
Yeah.
but it still worked that it was close enough.
that's
Like,
hilarious because as soon as they said, "Oh, pulling out his Jordan Peterson impression," I was like, "Wow, this is just higher pitched Kermit." Like that's what I was going for, was higher pitched Kermit.
Well, you
So,
did a great job.
I guess the real impressions we had were the friends we made along the way and the people that we were bigoted towards because we're kind of an asshole. Wait, that's not this guy. That's the other guy. We get confused for each other a lot.
Are you sure that Kermit the Frog isn't somehow bigoted?
I think I died at the I'm sad. I don't even remember what I said.
I think you said I'm sad because I had cancer.
Thank God that wasn't clipped. Am I right?
Someone can go back and clip it. If you want to, you can go back and clip that. Make Rufus always have that on the end.
This is, because
You better. We need to fix that bot. We need that clip command back.
this bot doesn't have that functionality.
Well, then we should just go back to Firebot. Now that we both have the same channel, we should just make a Dungeons and Downloads profile for
Well, no,
Firebot.
what this one here is it's a cloud bot. It runs on the cloud, whether I'm here or not. It still works for you.
You're right, but like,
I
what
don't-
if I just started up Firebot with a Dungeons and Downloads profile?
Yeah, we could do that. I can export my settings and send them to you.
I haven't done a Firebot in forever.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Is clip command more important or convenience? You get a bot.
It's
and you
convenience
get a
for
bot.
us. It's not convenience for them.
Yeah, no, I know. Inconvenience for you or convenience for us? What do you guys think?
I think I know the answer to this.
I mean, I didn't really give them an option. I said the same one 2 times.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
This is a great podcast. You guys should
I
watch
miss
more.
this. I was telling Oda the other day I'm gonna start trying to stream on Wednesdays again. At least in the
Oh,
morning.
nice.
At least before I do Rocket League night.
And I was thinking that I should start streaming on maybe Monday nights. I was actually
That'd
before
be
you
good.
because I go to chess on Wednesdays, so I could never. So like, yeah,
We could do this. We could make it so that we almost have what's that, 6 days? Almost 6 days? That would actually be 6 days.
yeah, that would be like a full stream schedule. I mean, we're already on 4 days a week. Like
We're
that's
already it surprises me every time I think about it. Because
Yeah.
I don't feel like we're doing 4 days a week. I feel like we're doing like 2.
I feel like we're having fun with friends most of the time, and it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like we're streaming. And that's because the thing I like about the podcast is that we interact with chat, because it really does feel like I stream once a week and I play D&D 3 times a week.
3 times, yeah. Which
Right?
is why I want to add in like an actual stream day.
And that's what I'm
Because then I
thinking
feel
too,
like-
because it would be fun if like you had a stream and I had a stream, and then we did the podcast and the D&D stuff.
Yeah.
And like Monday Rufus, Tuesday Cal, D&D sprinkled in, podcast Thursdays, and then we just for some reason take Saturdays off. Maybe
Sure.
someday we'll do some together content on Saturday someday, but
That's definitely possible.
we'll
You know,
see.
that Dead Space remake just came out. So I
Okay,
gotta
he
play it.
found the clip. I guess I'll play it back because I want to hear what this sounded like. And I want you guys to hear my live reaction to me
Also
hearing
wanna
myself sound like Jordan Peterson and telling everyone that I have cancer. Oh my god. How did we get here, Cal? Let's see. Let's see how we got here. Hold on. Let's see. Is this Vane? Like is this weird? No, I've seen other streamers do this. It's not weird.
What? Looking at our own clips? That's not weird at all.
Live on stream, watching our own clips again. Let's go. Let's go. It's eerily similar to the Kermit the Frog impression.
They're the same person.
They're the same person, just a little bit higher pitch. Oh my god, that's really close. I went a little too high pitched, but that's really close. I think it's more the mannerisms than the sound, though. I think if you actually break it down, it's not that close, but I think I got the mannerisms better.
You got the mannerism down pretty well.
And a
Yeah.
little bit sadder because I had cancer.
It's good.
Oh man, that kind of sucks.
now,
Kermit's
now,
never had
now I'm
cancer.
actually.
What a great clip. Good job, mods. The mods are really coming up to bat here.
The mod.
I mean,
Look at
Oda's.
you, Oda.
Yeah.
I know you're out there sometimes.
Oh, was that not the end of it?
No, the end of it was when you said he was a piece of human garbage.
Oh, hold on.
That's really sad.
No, don't be sad. He's a human garbage.
I said I'm sad.
I didn't even say piece of garbage. I said human garbage.
You might have said piece of garbage.
No, I just finished it. I just watched the rest of the clip. I said he's a human garbage. Oh man, that's hilarious. Wow,
It's funny.
that was a like a 10-minute derail. That was nowhere in the schedule. We weren't supposed to talk about any of that. How did that even start? What were we talking? OGL.
OGL. Kermit came in somewhere. I don't remember. Kermit was the segue to what just happened.
No, I made a high-pitched voice for some reason. I don't remember what I said about
sounded
that.
like Kermit.
No, I don't know why I made the high-pitched voice to begin with, though.
It was something with something about facing.
No, we were past
I
that
don't remember.
because that was. I don't know. Chat, you figure it out. Go back and find it.
Go clip exactly how we derailed. We'll just keep derailing with clips.
Yeah, we'll keep derailing. Here's the top 10 of 2023 clips. We've only had 4 episodes. They're all from this episode, guys. Go get us a top 10.
Okay, so we talked about OGL. What happened with the expensive D&D Beyond stuff? Let's finish this up.
Yep, expensive D&D Beyond stuff. So I found that they were selling something for $30, and the way it was presented in the ad that I saw was that it was just dice and a chat frame. So I was like, wow, $30 is kind of expensive for that, right? But it's called the Golden Vault, and they released this.
It's a new
It's an adventure.
series of heist adventures.
It's 13 heist adventures, and you also get some like
You get some heist mechanics,
You
some
get a-
new traps. You get a bunch of new stuff for other adventures too.
and you get some aesthetic stuff in D&D Beyond. And I thought they
Yeah.
were just selling the skin for D&D Beyond. I didn't think they were selling the rest of it. And I was like, $30 is a lot for that. But actually, it's not a bad deal. If you 13
yeah, like the
small
way they're
adventures.
showing is that it's a bunch of small adventures from 1 to 11. You could also run them as one shots. You can do them as like
See,
you can.
I'd
essentially
like
just
to make
sprinkle
it
them
into a
throughout whenever.
campaign someday. If
Sure,
I-
just do a bunch of heists.
Well, what I'd like to do is make it so that you guys are joining a gang that is like really like you guys lift things, like you guys are all like thieves.
Would you want that to be an all? But probably not all rogues. But just all
I
like
would just high
finesse
decks.
characters?
Just everybody
Any high
everybody
decks.
takes stealth, right?
yeah. Everyone
and-
goes as stealthy as possible.
Like a
Some of you-
rangers and rogues
Ooh,
are good there.
Ooh, you'd have a bard in there too
Yeah.
that goes high stealth, so you can talk your way
Exactly.
out of certain situations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then like the idea would be that like you guys start at level 1 is like you don't really know the ropes, you're starting thieves, and then you slowly work your way up through the hierarchy of the Thieves Guild to become the head of the Thieves Guild. So like I would use that as like a lot of the encounters for a campaign that I would write centered around that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could actually do that.
You would probably try and work your way up through the Golden Vault, because that's what it is. It's a guild. It's a bunch of people that hired crews for stealing.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, I didn't even know what that was, and I just came up with the... Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Affinity just found out how that started. How did that start? And they said, we hear you. We know you hate the stuff that we're proposing. Oh, that was my Wizards of the Coast voice. Wizards of the Coast is Jordan B. Peterson in disguise, confirmed.
It was like Kermit and Jordan. It was a nice combination.
I'm happy we got there.
Thank you for our second clip. Well, technically, we have 3 clips from Out of the Abyss too, so we have 5 clips going right now.
Oh, there's more. There's
we're
more
halfway
than that.
to 10.
I've clipped a few things. There's more than 5.
We are past our top 10 at this point. We are doing great.
Yeah. So yeah, I said top 10 for 2023 though. So you guys got to get going.
Well, we have 3 from this year then, plus these 2, so it's 5 from this year
We
specifically
need 5,
that I know.
5 more good clips.
Yeah, just keep going back in this one stream. It's fine.
I'll do the old like YouTuber vlog thing and to the next clip. Remember people used to do that for every vlog? Every vlog started with like the hand over the camera and it was like, hi, hi everybody, I'm a YouTuber.
Yeah, no, you're correct. That's exactly how it was. Those were dark times.
Oh man. Content was different back then. It was a simpler time.
It was a simpler time.
It was a much simpler time.
No, it's a simple thing as well.
What?
The last D&D topic we had. We're just going to graze over this one real quick.
From now on, at least with my campaigns, I think Cal may jump on board.
I'll jump on them when they're like. So, Mike, do you add music to your campaign constantly? That playlist constantly?
I prep a bunch, and I add music when I prep.
I have all of the music I am using for the rest of the campaign in this playlist, and I don't.
So, do you know how playlist groups work?
No.
So, what I've done is I have a folder of playlists for Horde of the Dragon Queen, and this is in Spotify. So, I'm using Spotify for it.
Sure.
And then inside the Horde of the Dragon Queen folder, I have the one that I publish, and then I have a whole bunch of other playlists split down into smaller sections so that I don't have to manage big playlists.
Oh, I mean, I love managing big playlists.
Instead of one big playlist, I have 8 small playlists, and then I have a published playlist. And then what I do is when you guys finish episode 1, I'm going to click on the more button and I'm going to put add entire playlist to other playlist. And then when we finish episode 2, I'm going to click add all music from this playlist to other playlist. That's how I'm going to do it.
Out of the Abyss Combat and Out of the Abyss, and that's literally my only distinction between both Out of the Abysses.
I mean, what I would just do is just add them as you use them, but...
Well, yeah, but see, the thing is, I guess I could create a separate folder of used songs. That way I can throw them all in there so people at least don't get any spoils.
Well, yeah, don't publish the playlist you're using. Make another playlist and add songs.
Yeah, all the stuff I've used. Yeah,
of the stuff you've used. Anyway, I'm making a playlist of all the music that I've used, and Cal may jump on board. I think we're still kind of on the fence here a little bit of
I'll
when
jump on board.
happen.
I just got to make some more playlists.
Okay. So Cal's going to jump on board too. So if you like the music in our campaigns and you just, I don't know, want to listen to it at work, or you want to run them in your own campaign, or you're going to run the exact same campaigns we're running and liked the music you heard, you can have access to
the campaign I'm running right now.
Probably not Out of the Abyss.
You might run Out of the Abyss. I'm saying the other one.
At a time. End of time.
I don't have anything written down for it. That's concrete.
I mean, they might go watch some of the early VODs and fill in the blanks themselves. Who knows?
That'd be crazy. Don't do that to yourself. There's way too much stuff that I just kind of make up off the top of my head. It'd be like trying to follow a I don't even know. It's
pretty crazy though. But yeah, join the Discord, ! Discord, if you want to get in there. And there's a forum where we're gonna have, that's another thing we should discuss really, really quickly before we hit downloads.
Ooh, forums.
We have forums now in the Discord. So like one of them, they're for DM specific stuff. So the DMs layer is where I'm gonna like post things like if me and Cal made a homebrew character or monster type that we wanted you guys to be able to have, we'd publish it there.
Yeah.
So that's a forum where you guys can't post, but you can read. And then the community centers where you guys can post your own cool stuff. So like you can post your own music for campaigns or your own homebrew stuff. Yeah. That's
Yeah. We also have the show off forum from the other stuff where Stilly has already put in some 3D printing stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, exactly. So
Show off your stuff.
yeah, if you want to get there, you can definitely do it. You can go listen to all that music. We're keeping it all there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be adding to it, and I'm adding them in the order that they actually are played in. So, well, I guess not in the open world sections, but like in a linear section, they'll be in the order that they were played in. Because I'm just adding one playlist to the other.
Show me what you got.
I want you to show me what you got. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, actually.
I just realized something looking
What?
at general chat. Rufus, did you TPK us because I made a joke about pirates? The day we started Dragon Queen?
What?
You mistyped board of the Dragon Queen in general Discord, and then my joke was, are we pirates?
Yeah, no, that's 100%.
Is that why you
it.
TPK'd us?
I overreacted, okay, guys.
Guys, I'm sorry. It was all my fault.
Yeah.
If you don't know what it is, get in the Discord and find out by looking at general chat.
Cal poked the dragon, and it killed him.
And it killed me. To be fair, I didn't poke the dragon.
Board of the Dragon Queen. You won't want to miss it. Are we pirates? You're dead. And you know, I think there's a lot that we could talk about here. How does that make you feel? Betrayed? Like maybe you shouldn't correct people if you don't know what's good
No,
for you?
I will do it every time you
Every
TPK
time?
us. Every time.
Okay.
Test me next time. Next time we're doing the first episode.
You know, the real feat of man is coming back from death in a D&D campaign. That's what sets us apart.
what about
Not
second
opposable
death, though?
thumbs. Everybody
What
think-
about second death?
That's called permadeath, Cal.
Okay. You know what's permadead?
That topic. Let's move on.
Justin Roland's career.
Oh, that too. Multiple good
Oh.
segues.
Let's go.
That is what happens when you imprison someone falsely and abuse them, and then people find
Yup.
out and you get sued.
Like a lot.
Yeah. And then he also stepped down from his own company. But like, let's be honest. If you saw those two guys in public, Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, you're going to be, you know, walking closer to Justin Roiland. You're going to be like, that guy's sketchy as fuck. Turns out it's the other way around.
The only reason I trust Dan Harmon more is because he looks like he looks like his soul is completely dead inside.
Yeah.
And that's a person you can trust.
It's true. You heard it here first. You know what? Let's just cut to AI Seinfeld. This is... You know what? Let's just skip the next topic and get down to the one we actually wanted to fucking talk about 2 weeks ago.
You don't want to talk about the $2,000 game?
There was a
Steam? We don't have
$2,000
to.
game on Steam and it sucked.
It was terrible. It was all just really shitty. It was a shitty topic too. It was dumb. Look it up.
Harry Potter got boycotted.
It's getting boycotted. It still hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's gonna get boycotted. I don't know.
And
Maybe-
specific the game. I'm not talking about the series.
I don't care what you think about the author of the book or the subject matter. I don't honestly think the Harry Potter intellectual property is really making much money off of this. I mean, I think it's more
agree.
like they'll make some, but like I think it's going to be a drop in the bucket compared to everybody buying their books and movies that nobody's really boycotting. So I don't really understand why you would boycott a game that looks really fun when you can just like accept that the people who made the game don't share the views of the person who wrote the story.
They don't. And the
Um,
lead designer that did for a bit got kicked out of the studio.
Yeah, like immediately. No, it's not Star Citizen. There was another game.
No, it was a Steam game. It was like an indie Steam game.
Yeah, it looked like it was probably a joke, but somebody bought it just to review it to show that it was a piece of crap.
It was bad.
But yeah, people are boycotting the game, and it's kind of really stupid because
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I
Of
don't
the
know.
fact that that's happening. Because like the people who made the game have come out saying that they do not support the author of it. Yes, I understand that. Like the IP that they have is J.K. Rowling's IP, but like you said, J.K. Rowling's probably not making a lot of money off of it. Hopefully not. And there's a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into this that don't support her views that are now going to get just bombed on review.
But also,
day.
she's gonna make more on the movies and the books, and people are still gonna go
Go-
watch those. So why don't you go boycott the movies and the books?
Because she's a terrible person.
That's where she makes
That's
her
a
money.
fact.
It's not gonna be from a video game that looked kind of fun.
But the people who made that game aren't, as far as I know, they're not. They've come out and said that they don't support reviews at all. I can't say that they're not terrible people because I don't know them, but you know, you can't use that. You can't be like, well, I don't know if they're terrible people, so I'm not going to buy the game. Anyway, I think that it's really dumb that people are essentially saying, hey, I know you put a lot of time and effort into this, but because the person who made this IP is terrible, we're going to make sure that your game gets destroyed.
So this is kind of my definition of cancel culture when you're canceling something that has nothing to do with the issue at hand, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, like go after. I'm saying, I say like if you want to go after the books, go after something like.
But like if you kill the books, then you'll kill a future game. And that's fine because the game would have never
Sure.
happened. They can use a new IP and they'll make the game anyway.
Yeah,
That's what they did with Star Fox Adventures. That was not supposed to be a Star Fox game. They just slapped something new on it.
I mean,
They're
like
the same thing.
I'm with Broken. I want to get the game too, and I'm probably gonna get the game.
I don't know if I'm going to
not
get
gonna
the
boycott
game.
it for that. It looks
but
really good.
my decision won't be made based on that at all. It's
No,
just
it
gonna
would be
I
based off
just-
whether the game is good or not. Like whether you want to buy it.
For me,
or
it's
not.
more like, do I even have time to play it?
It's supposed to be a big. It's gonna be a big game,
That's what I mean.
but there's so many. It looks so good, and it's made by what looks like a. The team looks like they did a really good job.
Yeah, it looks super
Put a
cool.
lot of time and effort into it.
Game has no Quidditch. That kind of sucks. You know what? You know what I was wondering the other day? I'm not even joking. Last week, I was legit thinking, why has nobody made like a Madden
sports
sports
Quidditch
game style Quidditch game? Why isn't there a high res full on Quidditch game?
So at this point, it's because no one's going to want to touch the intellectual property for games. For games, because they're seeing what's happening to this current game.
There's some personal
before that, I don't
responsibility
know.
there, but like, I mean, I just think it's a stupid idea to do that. I'm not saying the company shouldn't have known that it was going to happen. I'm just saying that if you're just going to crap on clearly they needed an IP to sell the game, and what would have been a better IP than this?
My thought on the fact that they knew the risk going in, this game has to have started. If you look at the scale of the game, this game started a very long time ago, before J.K. Rowling, probably before J.K. Rowling really started being transphobic.
And I mean, before we start saying that we shouldn't like anything from someone who's ever done anything bad, I think we might want to go back and look at like anything we've read that's a classic that we might like and go see what that person's views were.
Oh, some of the older classics are really bad.
Or like
if you look at the
movies. So like, I don't think it's fair to judge every subject material that spawns from someone's idea as the person themselves. I think that's a very bad way to think of society. And I think that that's a really deep conversation, like at an honest level.
Gameplay footage had been leaked in 2018, so that would mean sometime before 2018. I don't know when J.K. Rowling was canceled.
That's what
don't
I
know if I
mean. Like,
wanna
she's
go
not
down
really
this
making any money
entire-
off of it. She would have probably got cut a check for the IP, is probably what happened. They're like, here's your Harry Potter tax, ma'am. They used your name. And that was likely what she owns, is they had to pay to use the copyrighted name. Because they wrote the story. It's just an IP. That's the thing. They, like, as far as I know, this is a story that the game studio wrote in this IP. I could be wrong on that, but that's how I understand it. I'm willing
The
to be wrong.
earliest article I can find of her saying something like terrible is 2019, and the game first had gameplay released in 2018. So
So they started the
game
game. She came
did
out.
start
Yeah.
before she came out and got canceled.
So, I mean, the company. No, 2019. We just looked it up. Unless there's more articles. But anyway, that's
And
all
if
I have to.
gameplay footage was leaked in 2018, then they would have probably started early 2017 because they had to get gameplay.
Here's the
out.
thing,
So
I
I can
can-
tell you
I can
that
guarantee
started-
you they would have dumped the IP.
if they were.
Oh, for another reason? Well, it probably wasn't really canceled then. It was probably just something people didn't like.
And it's like I don't know. I think there's no argument for that
Piece of
specific
art
boycott. once
can
the
and
studio,
should be viewed separately from the artist. Yes. That's a very
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Right,
trying to
because
say, Estolia.
Also,
That's-
like especially when the company came out and said that they are not involved. She's not involved in production. They don't share her views at all. It's like, why are you still boycotting this company's game?
But like, technically, like both North American countries were like completely built off of slavery in a way. So like, should we all just feel indefinitely bad about ourselves for the end of time, or realize that I didn't do it and I can still understand that it was bad? Should I personally feel bad about that forever, or should I try to help us move forward as a society? Again, see what I mean? This is a very deep topic for me, at least. Maybe for some people it's not, but for me, this is more than just a game. It's like, it's what Estolia is saying about separating the art from the artist, and that the content made can live on in other forms without like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to go buy a Harry Potter book or go watch a movie. I don't care about that series. And I
like Harry Potter,
I don't
but
really like the way
not as
that
much anymore.
J.K. Rowling's views are to begin with. So
they're pretty terrible.
I'm not going to go out of my way to go watch one of the movies for a series I don't care for anyways. I guess what I'm saying is, even if she was the greatest person in the world, I probably wouldn't go anyway. But she's not, so it makes the decision easier. But you should be able to separate the two when she doesn't have huge monetary gain. I mean, I can see it being a bit of a moral quandary when it directly funds her.
I also don't think you can like blame the company by saying they should have seen it coming, because no, they shouldn't have. And this amount of people that are doing this, like I think that
they're boycotting
I'm
the
gonna
game
agree to
for one
disagree
reason.
with
I would
that
agree.
one.
I would agree with you, pal.
Thank you. I'm going to agree to disagree on that one. As far as they should have seen it coming, because I don't think that's true. But moving on, I 100% agree with Rufus on the fact, and I think Estolia on the fact, as far as art being separated, like that comment really hits home.
And like Estolia's next comment, millions of children learned how to read and grow up with Harry Potter, and that enticed them to read and become more literate.
Yeah.
Like, there are good things
That's
that
very
happen
true.
from this work of art. It's not just J.K. Rowling's a bigot and therefore nothing she's ever done is ever valid at all. Which is actually, funnily enough, no, I'm not going to say that on stream. I'm not going there.
Okay.
That's a bad one. I'm not going. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going there.
You'll have to tell me about that after stream, because I'm now intrigued.
I'm much too intoxicated to articulate this right now, and I'm not going to do it. Yeah.
Now I want to know.
I'll explain it to you later, Estolia.
Later. Also, you got to explain it to me later, too.
I will swing. Yeah, I'll tell you guys later. It's not even that hard to explain. It's just you guys know who I am, so you guys will probably understand what I mean. So
production started in 2017, which I know you said she'd already been canceled once, but we're going back past the date that you're saying again.
But Either way, it
No one
wasn't
ever said anything bad under the influence before.
Yeah, I know. But the other thing too is that the thing she's being boycotted for is specifically what she was canceled for in 2019. So clearly whatever she was canceled for before, the studio didn't think it was that big of a risk, even if it did happen then. So whatever it was, I don't know. But anyway, I don't have anything else to say this episode, do you? It's been an hour
Do
and
you
a
want to
half.
cancel? Do you want to do you want to stop the episode because you want to tell me what you were going to say?
No, I don't have anything else to say on this subject without getting into a huge philosophical debate about separating art from artist. And
Cancel D&D and play Pathfinder. Maybe one day that'll probably actually happen.
I mean, I plan on trying it.
Me too.
Now that I've been playing D&D for like 10 years, I think I'm finally ready to learn another game. I think I know enough about D&D that I won't forget it instantly.
Yeah, but I mean, no one wants to throw away 2 years of dev. Like,
Well, I mean, they didn't have to throw away 2 years of
let's
dev. They could have
just-
reskinned it. But
let's just end the podcast.
yeah, I don't have any. We're at a topic.
I don't want.
That was our last
Get
topic.
into an argument over whether they should have seen this coming and changed track.
But there's no more topics. So
Because I already said we're gonna agree to disagree on that one.
let's head on over
close
to.
that off.
You know how we're gonna end this stream, Cal? For the
How are
first
we gonna end
time
this stream?
ever, because I'm just gonna keep saying ever. So forever and ever, we're just going to play the thing that goes on forever and ever. Does that make
This is
sense
the
to you?
Song that never ends. And it goes on and
This
on, my
is
friends.
the infinite Seinfeld for you.
Oh God, I'm
Goodbye,
outta here.
stream. Goodbye. Enjoy infinite Seinfeld stream.
Alright, let's talk about
I
my
don't
love
want
life.
to.
Goodbye.
As they say, when it comes to romance, it's always a roller coaster ride. One moment I'm on top of the world, and then next thing you know, someone takes all my money and runs off with it. Well, I guess I'm out of luck. But hey, at least I can take solace in the fact that life is full of surprises. You never know what's waiting for you around the corner, so keep your eyes open and have a little faith. Alright, thanks for having me. Goodbye. Have a great night.
Hey, I heard something funny today.
What was it?
They were saying that a housefly had just enrolled in college.
That's unheard of.
I don't believe it either. How'd a fly even get accepted?
I guess they must have a very impressive transcript.
Maybe they had a great SAT score.
That would be a real shocker.
Yeah, an insect with a higher education.
So I'm at the store today, and this guy cuts in front of me.
What did you do?
I just stared, I had nothing to say.
How awful. So what did the guy get?
He got a tube of toothpaste, you know, the kind with the shaped end so it fits onto your brush.
That sounds pretty fancy.
Yeah, I could tell he was feeling pretty proud of himself.
That's too bad. He should have waited his turn.
Oh my gosh, I just had the craziest dream.
What did you dream about?
Yeah, I want to hear this one.
Well, I was walking down the street and this giant mouse chased me.
That's wild.
Where was the giant mouse taking you? To cheese heaven?
I wish. No, it was taking me to my job interview.
That's even crazier. What was the job?
It was for a professional windsurfer.
Professional windsurfer. What a dream.
So, what do you think about this place?
It's alright. But I'm not sure if it's really my scene.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm having a great time.
You know what they say, you can't please everyone.
True enough. So what do we do next?
Let's get some ice cream.
Yeah, ice cream sounds great.
I know a place that has the best frozen yogurt in town. Let's go.
Hey Larry, have you ever heard of the saying the sky's the limit?
Of course, but I prefer to take it a step further and say that the limits are only in our imagination.
Wow, that's really inspiring. So what made you think of that? Something tells me there's a story behind it.
Well, it's not the most exciting story, but here it goes. When I was a kid, my parents always encouraged me to think outside the box and explore possibilities that seemed impossible. They told me that if I tried hard enough, there would be no limit to what I could achieve. That resonated with me, and now I carry it with me wherever I go. It's amazing that something so simple can still have such a deep impact on my life. What about you? Any stories like mine? Hey, Cackler, did you hear about that new Italian restaurant down the street?
I heard it's supposed to be great. We should go check it out. Yeah, but it might cost us a fortune.
Don't worry, we'll just split the bill. And we might even have enough money left to buy a dessert. What do you say, Cackler?
Sounds like a plan to me. Let's do it. But I am warning you, if it's not tasty, don't blame me.
Hey Yvonne, did you hear the latest news?
What?
There's a new type of capsule that you can take to develop superpowers. I heard it actually works.
Yeah, right, like I'd ever believe that. But you should definitely try it if you want superpowers. So, what kind of superpowers do you think you'd like to have? Flying sounds pretty cool, but I'm more interested in super strength.
Well, I would love to fly. Maybe that way I wouldn't have to wait in line so much. But you're right, super strength would come in handy too.
I suppose if we both had superpowers, it would make shopping a lot easier.
I heard the funniest thing yesterday. They said they put a cat on the moon. Can you believe it?
Put a cat on the moon. What are they thinking? They should have chosen a dog. It's much more loyal and obedient.
I knew it. That's why they needed a rocket to get the cat up there. It probably took a lot of bribes to get the cat on board.
Yeah, and cats don't fare well in zero gravity too. I wonder what they're going to do with this cat on the moon.
So listen, what did you get up to last night? Anything exciting? Anything I should know about?
Oh, man. You won't believe it. I was at the store and this guy tried to sell me a talking parrot. I mean, who does that?
That is amazing. I didn't even know that was a real thing.
Yeah, I laughed my head off. I turned him down, of course. But I'm sure if you wanted one, I could probably find a way to get it for you.
That's awesome. I think I'll take you up on that offer.
Hey, Yvonne, you know what I'm craving right now? Something that always makes me feel better.
Pizza? Nah, I'm thinking of something a little more creative. How about a joke?
Sure, why not? What did the fish say when he swam into a wall? Damn. Get it? Damn, like the wall of a dam.
Haha, classic. That was great. I heard the most surprising thing from my dry cleaner today. He told me that he once met a famous celebrity in the elevator.
Wow, who did he meet? I'm so curious now.
Yeah, who was it? It must have been someone really big if your dry cleaner remembers it.
He said it was Neil Armstrong.
What? That's impossible. I thought he only left Earth in 1969.
Ah, I see what you're saying. It must have been some other Neil.
Hey Fred, did you hear about the new restaurant opening up around the corner? It's supposed to serve the biggest and cheesiest pizza in town. Have you been? What's the verdict?
Not yet, but I'm curious. Everyone's saying it tastes so good it'll make you feel like you're eating a slice of heaven.
That sounds delicious. I'm gonna have to try it.
Me too. I heard they're giving away free samples tomorrow. We should go together and grab a slice.
Let's do it.
Great. See you then. Hey, don't forget to bring your appetite. I have come up with a great idea for making money. I'm going to start a business selling used stop signs.
You want people to be careful crossing the street, but don't want them using something new?
No. It's a great deal, used signs for half the price of new ones. Plus, they've already built up a certain amount of character.
Character? So what you're saying is that if someone sees a used sign, they know it's got some history? That's brilliant. You could even add a few colorful stories to it, like the sign might have been around since the Great Civil War or something. You could be the go-to guy for all sorts of historical used stop signs. I can just imagine the kind of conversations people would have around town about your signs.
Hey, have you guys tried this new ice cream place down the block? It's really good.
No way, I can't have ice cream. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm already practically a toothpick.
I don't believe it, you can still eat some ice cream. Just have the non-fat variety and you'll be fine.
Yeah, good plan, Fred.
Can you believe it's already Friday again?
I know, this week has just flown by.
I'm glad. I need a break.
I know, I've been so busy with work lately.
Oh boy, I hear you.
So, what are we doing this weekend?
I don't know, maybe we can go bowling or something?
I don't know, that sounds kind of boring.
How about we go to the movies instead?
Perfect. Now we just have to decide what movie. Oh, what about that new romantic comedy?
Hey everyone, how's it going? So, I was out walking the other day and saw this big leaf fall from a tree. And I thought to myself, wow, that's bigger than my mortgage payments. I had a computer crash the other day, so I called tech support. The guy on the line said, "What was the last thing you did before it crashed?" And I said, "I saved." Alright, so I was out shopping and this woman said to me, "Do you ever get the feeling that you're being watched?" And I said, "No, not since I stopped dancing in my underwear." Alright, well, I was at the movies and this couple in front of me kept talking. So after about 10 minutes of it getting on my nerves, I leaned over and said, "Hey, can you two keep it down?" And the guy turned around and said, "No problem." Then his date looked at him and said, "See? That's how you should have been talking to me all night." Alright, well, I was out walking the other day and saw a sign that said, "Smile, it could be worse." So I smiled and sure enough, it got worse. Alright, so I was at the bank the other day and this teller asked me what my favorite color is. So I said beige and he gave me a funny look, like I had said something wrong. Then he asked what my second favorite color was and I said toast. Then he just shrugged his shoulders and moved on to the next customer.
You're never going to believe this.
What?
I just saw someone dressed as a giant hot dog walking down the street. It was the strangest thing.
Wow, that is pretty strange. Where did they go? Were they dancing? Maybe they were trying to promote something?
No, they were just walking in a straight line. It was definitely the weirdest thing I've seen all day.
So I had this dream last night that I was walking down an alley and all of a sudden there was a giant eagle.
A giant eagle? What did you do?
Well, I didn't want to mess with it, so I just started running the other way.
That's probably a smart move. How did the dream end? I ended up on a beach, and next to me was an old man who was fishing. He gave me a fish and said to me, "Never forget what you saw in that alley." And then I woke up.
Wow, what a strange dream. Do you think it means anything?
You know, it's hard to say. But maybe the old man was trying to tell you that you should be careful who or what you encounter in life. They say that dreams often have strange and mysterious meanings, so you should really consider what it could mean.
Interesting. I guess I'll have to pay more attention to my dreams now.
So how was your week? Anything new? Any particularly crazy moments?
Well, I was at the grocery store and I saw a woman buy 15 cans of anchovies.
So random. Why would she do that?
I have no idea. But I was so surprised that when she checked out, I said anchovies for everyone. Everyone in the store started laughing, including the cashier.
That's hilarious. You're a real comedian.
Well, I like to think so. What about you? Anything interesting happened this week? Hey everyone! Welcome to my show tonight. I'm so glad you all decided to come out and laugh with me. So, what do you guys think of 2020 so far? Yeah, it's been quite a year. But hey, it hasn't been all bad. We've managed to stay safe and healthy throughout the pandemic. Now, one thing that really gets my goat is how people immediately jump to conclusions. For example, when I told my mom I was a comedian,